Hello and welcome back to Play the Hits. This is Max, who I'm going to be taking the helm on this one this time.
Hell yeah, you are.
How's it going tonight, Chris?
Other than this fucking nagging cough that I've still got from my cold, not too shabby.
Say that good, huh?
Yeah, it's so much worse than it is. It's super annoying.
Yeah. So this one, I'm kind of going in not completely blind, because I've obviously played and beaten this game before, but it's been many years since I've played this one. So, yeah, I feel like you've played this within the last couple years or so, haven't you?
No, it's been at least a solid decade for me.
Okay. Oh,
Maybe
there's
more.
there's a thing apparently. Okay, well, it's a good thing I waited.
Which is kind of funny because they never actually use these kind of overworld animations for the rest of the game.
No, they just use that map basically.
Yeah, they bothered to render it, but then they don't use it. So
yeah,
whatever.
We got some. Kind of looks like Mode 7, maybe. I mean.
Oh, definitely.
All right. I don't like. I remember the story of this game is basically. Yeah, well, I guess spoilers, but you're.
You know what? I think at this point we're spoiling almost 30-year-old games.
Yeah, so I think if you haven't caught up on Illusion of Gaia, well, that's your fault. But
yeah, go get a life, dweeb.
You're like descendant of some thing that has powers, and you need to stop a comet. That's all I pretty much remember about this game. So. Yeah,
so that might be fun, because some of these dungeons may be pretty fresh for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Full disclosure, I actually really recently watched a lot of Pro Jared's playthrough of this game.
Oh, this game? Okay.
Yeah, so I remember some of it, and I'll try to help out where I can. I also have
that will be much appreciated.
I also have my handy-dandy original SNES box with the manual. So
God. This game came with like a 80-page manual or something.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and break tradition here. I'm going to step away from my mic for a second and actually grab that so I can help you through the red jewels.
Sweet.
All right, 1 second.
There's that Tower of Babel, I believe. Okay. Let's get this started.
Okay, so here's my SNES box. You know, there's just nothing more satisfying than like actually opening up an old SNES cartridge box and pulling out your instruction manual and world map.
They really put the leaflets that come with games to shame.
Yeah, you know, if there's one thing I really, not just like nostalgic, you know, remember when games were packaged with such quality and everything? Like, I actually miss my old instruction manuals. They were oftentimes like little art books, and they...
Oh, yeah.
You know, they actually contributed. They told you things that were actually quite valuable. I know most games today have like tutorial segments, but I don't know. It's never quite the same.
Yeah, and a lot of times I mean, obviously there's story in these games, but I think they kind of expected you to read the manual to get a little background on the characters and what's going on with them. They'd always include like these cool little bios that would maybe shed a little bit of, you know, light on their personality, which, again, storytelling, with these games, it was more about the gameplay that would tell the story, and not so much like facial expressions or character. Like, you know, they really couldn't get to that. So
no,
I forgot. Will is not a silent protagonist. He
is.
He tells the story.
And you know, this game in particular, even though it was kind of a shoddy '90s Enix translation, like it was so effective at communicating its stories that this game to this day is like my chief metaphor for puberty. Like I remember this game as like my coming of age game, you know?
Oh, Seth. I'm sorry.
That nostalgic for me, yeah.
Let's see.
And you know, I wonder who actually did the translation for this game, because they had a very unique style.
Yeah, this isn't Woosley. I'd be shocked. There's no way.
No,
well,
definitely not Woosley.
Then again,
like,
they weren't.
They weren't.
To, like,
wax poetic at certain parts. You know?
This is also Enix, and they weren't the same company yet.
Yeah, no, and I mean, they don't always succeed, but I mean, like I said, it was certainly a very memorable story and a very memorable translation. So, but there are definitely some parts where they just completely lose you.
Yeah, I remember it's a look so quickly. It's just like, here you go.
So which Which red jewels here in the first town do you remember?
I know there's some.
There's 3, and I can walk you through them if you would like. Or
Sure.
should I just assume that you would like me to?
Let's see. Well, let's just do a little bit of exploring. I
I was
think
gonna
it's
say,
just
if we
like
explore every nook and cranny, this could definitely be like a 30-episode clip through. Not that that's a bad thing, but...
There it is.
Okay,
Okay,
so
there's one.
You're right, you got the one at the bell. The next one is in Lance's house downstairs in the
Okay.
basement.
Well, that's not Lance's house. Let's see.
I forget which one Lance is, truthfully.
Eric's at. Well, this is frickin' Eric.
Well, at least they label him. Oh yeah, fuck Eric. What a little tool.
Eric's
like
a little
my
annoying.
least favorite. Like, I kept waiting for him to die. You know, like, come on, get rid of Eric.
Oh god, and his parents are annoying too. It's just like, look how rich we are.
Like,
That's
out
why
of all
Eric's
the
a
characters,
spoiled
Eric,
little.
yeah, out of all the characters, he goes through like the least satisfying arc.
He's definitely like the hope of this game.
Ugh.
Okay. Whee! I love it. He does his little hero landing.
Yeah, right.
Alright, so that's Eric's house. And okay, Lance's house.
There's
You said
Lance's house.
it's in here?
Downstairs. Yep, in one of the jars.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me that my dad's dead.
In the basement.
Oh.
Yeah, where she went. There we go. Yeah, one of those 2 jars in the top right.
Okay,
There we go.
cool.
And then the third one is a pain in the ass because I never knew about it as a kid.
There's only 3 in this town?
There's only 3 in this town, but the third one is a huge pain. Like, you basically have to use the guide in order to get it.
Okay. That's that.
Just progress through the story naturally, and I'll tell you when to do it. It's right when you come to the cave.
Okay.
So, let's see here.
Oh, here's the cave.
Now,
all right.
Yeah, so right outside the cave, don't talk to your friends yet. Just what you're gonna have to do is exit the cave and keep waiting for a fisherman. Okay, he's not there. You're just entering and exiting until that fisherman appears.
Oh, entering and exiting the cave?
Yeah, no joke. You just have to wait for a fisherman to appear right there.
Really?
Yep. Which is, again, why you basically need the guide for this. Sometimes it can take like 100 tries,
you know what?
No joke.
I feel like I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems familiar, actually.
It's one of those bullshit things that really only the NES and SNES can get away with.
Oh, yeah.
Like in Castlevania 2, where you had to duck in front of that fucking mountain to get Simon into the tornado.
Oh my god, yes. Castlevania 2 for the NES, waiting for that damn tornado, which is... And this is word of mouth stuff, like someone figures it out, and then you just had to have a friend that knew about it.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
although...
we could very well be here for a while.
This was not... I remember doing this just like this, so this is definitely not natural. Someone told me about this, and then...
God.
Oh my god. Okay, let's see. Like, really?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, so,
It's like, Will, what are you doing, man?
You guys just returned from Disney, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. It was like an extended weekend, basically. So not like a true vacation, but it was just basically celebrating Addie's 30th, kind of.
Nice. I was gonna say it's a hell of a lot more vacation than I've had in a while, but...
Sorry about that.
Nah, I don't care.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was, I mean, did Epcot on basically the first day we got there.
Nice.
So they had the Food and Wine Festival going on. So I got to I just went around basically the World Showcase and ate my heart out. Had some choice drinks.
That sounds like a vacation to me.
Yeah, that was nice. Ugh, yeah, this is taking a while. But and then
I fucking love food. I don't care what people.
Oh my god, I had a croissant with escargot inside of it. It was really tasty.
Really? That had to be interesting.
Yeah, I had a frozen mimosa. Let's see, and a few other.
Let's go back to the escargot for a second. How's the texture on that?
It was, well, you know what? It was not it was like slippery, but it was really tasty. It was just kind of, I don't know, salty and not like chicken, but just interesting texture. The croissant was really good.
Right.
I don't know about this fisherman.
You know what you're
dude.
getting with the croissant. Dude, you know what I fucking love? Just go to Starbucks and get like a cup of coffee in the morning and a croissant. Like, you're out $3 and it's freaking delicious.
I've never had a croissant from there. But then
they're not bad. They're not bad.
Do you think maybe should I progress the story a little bit and try this again later? No, just definitely just keep doing this. All right. Maybe maybe I gotta reach. Now, what if I see him and I go back in just out of like muscle memory? I mean,
then you've got to do it all the fuck over again.
God. What if I have to reach an arbitrary number, like clicking on Wesker's desk 1,000,000 times or something?
That would be hilarious.
Jesus. Oh God.
I know, this is annoying as shit. This is... Welcome to Play the Hits.
Welcome to Play the Hits. This is how we're going to start it out right here. What do the red jewels do anyway? I know there's a guy you can trade them in for.
Yeah, and you get like special powers and power-ups.
Okay, you get like healing items. I remember that.
Yeah, for like the really low numbers. But after that, you start getting really valuable stuff.
Okay. Saturday we went to the California Grill. That was probably my favorite part of the whole weekend, honestly. It was like the food was just really good. We've been wanting to go there for a while.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Hey, there he is. All right, everybody. Welcome to Play the Shit.
There we go. All right. Let's progress the plot and talk to our friends a little bit. But yeah, it had some good eats there, and we were able to watch like the fireworks show from there because we were having dinner there. That was really good. That was probably my favorite night, just because. Oh no.
Sweet.
She ran away. Had awesome steak. That was just amazing with some gnocchi and just so savory. And then had like some super sweet cake after that. And then just we paid the bill and everything, but we were just waiting in their lounge for a while for the fireworks show to start. And over there, sit next to Eric. Okay. And while we're doing that,
Eric, I don't mind. Eric, I do mind. Fuck Eric. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Lance is the cool one. Seth's the one that dies quickly.
Well, technically, I mean, spoiler alert. Seth kind of lives forever when you think about it.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So what happened? You were waiting in the lobby.
Oh, just after having like such sweet cake, to have like just some nice black coffee, and
then suddenly I puked everywhere.
Yeah, that's the end of that story. Yeah,
right.
So that was a lot of fun. And then Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom had their not so scary
Anal Kingdom.
Anal Kingdom. We rode the Flight of Passage at Anal Kingdom.
Disney's gotten a little more risque since I was there at age 5.
Oh man, yeah. Hopefully we got to do like a trip together there at some point.
Yeah, well, apparently that's happening this February.
Yeah, I think if you guys are able to come down when we do the
booking.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're officially booking for the end of February, so that'll be
great. I gotta
pick
one of these, don't I?
Yeah, and you guys will basically just have to show us all the great places to eat.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Alright, so I'm just showing off my psychic powers at this point.
Nice. You and I are definitely going to be drinking around the world at some point.
Okay, yeah, for sure that's happening.
Maybe if Addie and Sarah want to take Connor and Michael out to enjoy some Disney rides or something like that, you and I can definitely get sloshed.
I feel kind of badly, but yeah, at the same time, I don't think I want to drink around the world with them. I was
going to say, five years ago, I would have felt a little bit bad about it, but when you have kids, you stop giving a fuck. If anything, I'll probably give Sarah the opportunity to do the same at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think my friends have anything left to add.
No, I think you just got to go home and have some snail pie.
It's already...
Yeah, see, the danger here, if you accidentally interact with your friends, you miss your chance.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest bitch move Red Jewel in the entire game.
I really hope that's like the worst part of the game.
Well, actually, there's one other one that's not like a challenge or a puzzle or like you have to be psychic to know where it is. Like, don't you have to sell some dude into slavery to get one?
That I don't remember. I remember there was a slave trade in this game.
Yeah, it's in that town where the slave traders are. And one of those dudes in the robes comes up to you and he's like, hey, if you tell me where the slave is, I'll give you a red jewel.
Oh
and
my
like
God.
The correct thing to do in this game is to fucking give the guy up at the red jewel. Otherwise, you don't get all of them.
Yeah, this is before moral choices. It's just like, you need the jewels. Do it.
Yeah.
This is very ominous.
If you don't get all 50, you miss out on the optional dungeon at the end.
Okay, I don't remember an optional dungeon for sure.
Well, clearly you never got all 50.
I don't think so. I really doubt I did.
I brag, but I totally used the game facts. Here's Gem.
Oh, here's the guy. Okay. I just wanted to see you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, give them all the red jewels you can because they clog up your inventory real bad.
Okay, let's give you... Let me hold it for you, okay. According to the list, you get the herb. You receive the herb.
Oh,
okay,
man.
herb. Alright.
This dude's just some kind of like fucking walking rewards program. Would you like to install the Gem the Jeweler app?
Alright, let's see. Is this my house? No, that's the school. I don't want to go back to school. I'm too cool.
Nerd! Nerd!
Okay, here we go.
Smells really great.
Oh, snap! Piggy.
Oh, dude, there's the other part of this game that fucking wrecked me as a kid. That fucking pig.
Oh, the pig had to die. Oink, oink.
Killing himself.
I'm sorry, Piglet.
The pig has a surprising amount of emotional awareness.
This pig's the real MVP.
Yeah, right?
Oh, Hamlet, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Hamlet.
Oh, we haven't talked for a while. PS1 Classic.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing.
That's gonna be a thing. Okay, what do you think? $100 for 20 games. I mean, I'm pretty excited for it, but that's I don't know. I have to see what the games are.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll kind of reserve judgment for when the full list comes out. But the PS1 is one of those systems where like I still do have a good portion of my original library, and I think pretty much every game that I would really want to play on PS1, I either have a digital, or I already have a copy of, or I own possibly a digital copy of it on the PS3.
I think I'm the same way. I think there's, like, all the Final Fantasy games, I either have actually I have all the discs now that I think about it, and I own digital copies, I think, of all three of them as well, since I can't play those on the PS4 anymore.
And there's like some that I know will probably be on it, like Twisted Metal or something that I never really got all that to. But
nah, neither did I. Although Twisted Metal 2 is kind of one of those ones that like has to be on there, you would think.
Right? Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was really indicative of that era, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't my cup of tea. But then the other thing that I'm not super crazy about is they don't actually include a DualShock controller with it. They include just the.
I was surprised by that. Like, I know they're going for, like, oh, it's the original controller, but I feel like there's a couple games that required DualShock. Or if they didn't require them, like, say, Final Fantasy 8 or 9.
They were certainly improved by them, yeah.
Like, you can't do the 8 directions anymore.
Right.
I guess you can do upper left or something, like, you can do the diagonals, but...
Well, actually, the crazy thing about FF8 and 9... is that if you had a DualShock controller, they had full 360-degree movement in those games. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So if they include those kind of games, you're going to be, like, missing out on an option of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
in fact, I have Final Fantasy IX on the PS4, the, re-released version of it. And even though I really enjoy kind of, like, the slight visual upgrade and how clean everything looks, I pretty much can't play it. No joke, because I'm using the thumbstick, and they only have 8 directions because it's technically a port of the mobile.
Oh, the mobile version.
And it looks fine and it plays fine, but I can't get used to the movement. Like I
that kind of sucks.
Like, yeah, and I'm just waiting for them to update it, and then I'll give that like an honest playthrough for the first time in a couple of years. But man. I never thought that something that insignificant would make such a huge difference, but
yeah, it kind of does.
It almost feels like moving Zidane through a puddle of mud. It's so weird.
That sucks. I was surprised by that, the controllers for sure. It's just like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah. You haven't seen those controllers in a while, but when I think of the PS1, like I have my one red controller that's not DualShock, but I think like those sticks definitely they put them to use with like the second half of the system's lifespan. Is that
for sure? And then there's a game that I would actually really like to see on that I may even consider buying the system for, which would be Monkey Island. Not Monkey Island, Ape Escape.
Oh, Ape Escape. That game required DualShock, didn't it?
Yeah, well, that was like the tech demo for the DualShock, and it ended up being a really good game.
Okay, yeah, that's the one that like included a DualShock controller, I think, because it required it.
Right, and
oh, snail pie! You weren't kidding. With whipped cream, wow.
And then there's Metal Gear Solid, which I know it controls smoother with the analog sticks, but that game I actually used the D-pad anyways, just out of preference because I felt it was easier to stick Snake to the walls when you use the D-pad.
Yeah,
my thumb would always like shift when I had it on the joystick, but on the D-pad you could just hold him flat against the wall. And
yeah, so I imagine stealthy options or stealthy segments that would be easier.
Yeah. There's a game that I'm 90% sure will be on there is Metal Gear Solid.
Crystal ones. Okay, so I'm already going to the castle then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid has... I mean, there's some games that have to be on there, like Metal Gear Solid, of course.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII's on there, so I think they're covered, even if they don't put any other RPG on there. I was surprised, by the way, of Wild Arms.
FF9.
Yeah, FF9. I saw Wild Arms, I'm like, really? That's pretty cool, but surprising. Yeah. One of the Breath of Fires would be fantastic. I mean,
I don't think they'll do that.
I don't think so
I just think
either.
Breath of Fire is obscure enough that they'll pass that series.
That sucks. 3 or 4, both fantastic games. That'd be good if they put one on. I mean, it's like, when I think of the PlayStation, you know, back in the day, it's like, that was an RPG machine. If you liked JRPGs, you liked the PlayStation. And so I feel like, if they don't have like at least 4 RPGs on there, they're not really representing the system very well. And out of the 5 games they announced, there's already 2 of them. So it's like, okay, I think they're on their way to...
Dude, it's really hard to describe to someone who didn't live through that era just how amazing it was to be a JRPG fan from 1994 to 2000.
Oh my God.
That was just... Like, you couldn't...
That was the golden age, you know.
It really was.
Like, and we didn't know it, or at least I didn't know it. I think you'd have to be pretty objective to kind of be like, wow, this is great, you know, because the SNES had some great RPGs itself.
But
the PlayStation...
And then the PlayStation came along and did even more.
It just continued that and made it even better.
And like year after year, we were getting like 3 or 4 solid releases, not even counting Final Fantasies. You mentioned Wild Arms. That was a great series.
Yeah, we got 2 Wild Arms, for
Chrono
the
Trigger, Chrono
Cross.
If you're being really liberal with RPGs, that's when Castlevania Symphony of the Night kind of took on an action RPG kind of aspect to it.
And it was
a difference for the genre.
Very much an RPG aspect with leveling up and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, we got the 2 Chrono games, we got Xenogears.
Holy shit.
And like really lesser known ones like Beyond the Beyond, the Tales series started in the 90s. And then freaking Working Designs and Atlas back in the day. They just fucking dominated with these like
what did Atlas
really obscure
like Arc the Lad, but they had some other stuff in the PlayStation era. Alundra wasn't them.
No, Alundra was Working Designs.
Okay.
They did Thousand Arms, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I never played that one.
That was kind of a unique one. That was like dating sim / RPG.
Yeah, so. I missed out. I really should have played that one.
It really had like a stellar art design, and man, that was just an awesome game. Oh, there's a red jewel in here behind one of the pillars on the eastern point of the castle.
Oh, eastern cat. So
yeah,
over
so go down the eastern staircase. And, nope, go up, maybe. It might be this pillar. There it is.
What did he say? Don't raise your voice and mind your manners.
I think he's
said
masturbating behind the pillar.
Something red jewel. That's all I saw.
If you don't rat me out, man, I'll give you this red jewel, please.
So do I come back later to get it? I don't remember this.
You already got it.
I already got it? Jeez, okay, cool.
Check your inventory just to make sure, but... Yep, you got it.
Yep, got it.
So you're already at 4.
Be careful. Oh yeah, the king's a dick, isn't he? He
Yeah,
throws me in jail.
And you know, there's like no real redemption story for them. It's not like one of those things where, you know, you later find out that, oh man, it was the jackal.
They're being controlled or something.
Yeah. No, it just turns out that Kara's parents are just fucking assholes.
Who's the jackal again?
The jackal is the bounty hunter who...
he's the assassin.
Yeah, he's only in the game for like 10 seconds and he goes down like a chump. But they talk about him throughout the whole story like he's this huge deal.
That's right. This is just a shabby boy. Don't mind him.
Yeah, I love this translation. Just shabby boy.
Oh my god.
And then you get that letter from Kara where she's like, I too am a prisoner of silk and gold.
Oh, I remember that. It's like, fuck you. Jeez.
Right? Like, I'll trade you. But no, it, as cheesy as those kind of lines are, I really do feel like I remember this translation and this story precisely because of them. Like, no one talks this way, but at the same time, it's an RPG, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, this is what I remember. And it's like, the translation's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it gets the point across, except for like one or two notable exceptions that I'm actually not really recalling off the top of my head. But there's some parts, like the very ending of the game, it's like something about like the giraffe or something being a key part of evolution, or I forget what that was all about.
I don't remember that. I don't know why I like their relationship, Will and Kara. Even it's like there's not a whole lot to it. I don't know if it's just because it's uncomplicated, like Kara just kind of likes you from the start or something, but
right. And there's like the whole destiny aspect of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean it's well done for an SNES game, and at the time that this was released, you know, video games weren't exactly very bold with like character romances. You had Cecil and
Rosa was pretty straightforward and simple.
Yeah, I mean, and they were already an item when the game started, so there was no real growth there. They just kept on liking each other.
Let's see, what else?
Locke and Celeste, but that was after this game.
Yeah.
So it kind of pioneered some of this.
Wow, shit. They really love that word. Shabby.
Yeah, right, you shabby piece of shit. Another game that I thought did character romance really well was what was it called? Lufia 2. Maxim and Selan, the two main characters of that game. I thought that was done really well. Because there was a whole, I mean, like, you literally saw them from like the moment they met to getting married to having a child. And that like provided the emotional core for a lot of the story, including the game's like super depressing ending.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like I said, it was just a golden age for RPGs. Nowadays, you know, you get some really good Western RPGs, and lately we've been getting some really good JRPGs, but they're definitely fewer and far between.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about the development cycle, that most of them are not. They are not like Dragon Quest type games. And Dragon Quest, of course, that's a long development cycle too, because there's a lot to that game.
Yeah, right. If you want a JRPG that kind of matches the quality, or at least puts the system to the same potential that was used in the SNES and PlayStation days, then you're looking at a much lengthier development cycle. So yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of shovelware JRPGs with kind of like really generic looking characters, and I hate to say it, but even the Tales series at this point has kind of become one of those. And God forbid, like fucking Star Ocean too. They've really dropped the ball since the PS2.
Oh, Star Ocean! I was about to say, even starting with like Star Ocean 3. You know, it wasn't. Star Ocean 2 was a fantastic game.
End of time. Yeah, 1 and 2 are phenomenal, and I really enjoyed the third one.
I actually never played.
PS2.
I never played Star Ocean 1. I thought Star Ocean, the first Star Ocean was an SNES game.
Yeah, it was. It was Japan only, but they did a remake on the PSP that was excellent.
Oh, okay.
Like, probably one of my favorite games for the PSP.
Star Ocean 2 was... Well, that was kind of like, and it was.
Ooh,
you had
that would be an interesting title to put on the PS1 Classic.
Yeah, Star Ocean 2. Oh my, that game had like, how many playable characters did that game have? Like,
it had a bunch of playable characters, but the trick was you couldn't actually recruit all of them in one playthrough.
No.
It also had a shitload
crap ton of endings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it had. I remember the back of the case was like 80 different endings.
Right, as well as 2 separate main characters that you could play as. I mean, you get both of the characters regardless, but depending on who you choose at the beginning, like that's who you're seeing the game's narrative through.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And there are some differences actually, like they're more so in the beginning than the end. But there's definitely like parts where the story arc splits, which is kind of cool.
This is one of those little things. It's like, yeah, they probably translated that literally, and it didn't work, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I get the gist.
Right.
Okay, Dad. Like.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe.
Father?
No, you deserted me.
Yeah, I love that. No.
Kind of asking a lot, Pops.
He just sits in the corner of the cell and slowly dies. That's the end of the game. Hell yeah. We're about to get freed, aren't we? Because you make your way through the sewers.
Yeah. Frieden's the knight thing you turn into.
Yeah, Frieden's a badass, dude. Love Frieden. So let's see. I've never really looked at the world map here. I mean, this game doesn't really need a world map because.
Oh, you have the world map in your
in
box.
My manual here.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm just kind of...
I gotta get the statues. That's right.
Full... Dude, and then the ending of this game is like such an awesome. Like where you
restart the world basically.
Yeah, and you're like throughout the game you're seeing all of these real world locations, but none of them really match up geographically to where they're supposed to be. Then all of a sudden at the ending, like everything shifts, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
And it's the world.
Literally about like the genesis of the real world. That's crazy. So you're literally like living in prehistory, which is insane.
It's cool, yeah. It's another one of those, evolutions going a weird way. You gotta
the
basically
red star
reboot the world.
Pretty much Lavos, yeah.
Basically.
Dude, I remember the final boss in this game being a bitch. Speaking of which.
It's... Yeah, the final boss wasn't as bad as some of the other bosses. For sure,
I was just gonna say, there's a couple bosses in this game that always throw me for a loop. There's the final boss.
The vampires.
The vampires.
They're the worst.
Then we'll probably have to explain this more as we get to him. But I also fucking hated Mowgli.
Mowgli,
you remember Mowgli?
No.
You were the one who introduced me to Mowgli.
I don't know Mowgli.
You don't remember what I'm referencing?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you remember the giant demon head with the two hands?
The red face. That's like the first boss, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but he always kicked my ass. But you were the one... Remember, didn't Roger call him Mowgli? And I thought that was like the fucking funniest thing in the world, and so I just adopted it.
I don't remember that.
Dude, he straight up used to call him Mowgli for some
why?
reason. I don't know why, but that stuck with me for years. I was like... So to this day, I call that boss Mowgli.
Yeah, that's the first boss, isn't it?
Okay, you gotta like text Roger like after this is done and be like, "Hey, what do you remember about Mowgli?"
Why is he even called Mowgli?
I don't know. Like that would really help me out if after all these years you could put that to bed for me. Fucking Mowgli.
All right, let's see. Okay.
You got nothing.
Well, what other games do you think have to be included on the PS1 Classic? I mean,
so
Metal Gear for sure.
Yeah, there's ones that I would like to see, and then ones that I think will be included.
Like Crash Bandicoot is probably going to be... Well,
you're going to get at least one of the Crash Bandicoots. You may get Symphony of the Night, actually.
That would be awesome, and hopefully, yes. Although, didn't they announce there's going to be a Symphony of the Night remake? That's awesome.
Yeah, well, not a remake. They're just re-releasing it alongside Rondo of Blood for the PS4.
Oh, it's a re-release? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I heard remake. Never mind.
Oh, I wish remake.
That would be awesome.
But not like the 3D remake. Like, I want to see, like, ultra-high-def sprites. Give me the sprites. But I know they're not going to put the work in to do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, but I kind of... Yeah. My hopes are not high for that. I doubt it.
I think all they're really doing is kind of giving you the option to put, like, kind of a nicer filter over top of it. Which didn't work for Chrono Trigger and probably won't work for that.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I mean, it's a great game. It'll be nice to have on the PS4 alongside Rondo of Blood, which is kind of interesting because Rondo of Blood has never seen like an honest-to-God console release of its original Japanese version.
Yeah, you got that PSP version.
Yeah, we got the PSP version, which was a full-on remake, and that actually also included the original, but again, in the portable format. We did get an SNES Castlevania 5, but it was a really watered-down SNES port that just sucked. So that'll be kind of a first, is to actually have that in a legitimate way on consoles.
Now,
So
Rondo of Blood in Castlevania 5 or Castlevania X, whatever they called it on the SNES, is that the same?
X.
Dracula, is that the same game?
Yeah. So before they started giving Castlevania all those music-themed names, Rondo of Blood was just called Dracula X.
Okay, so it is pretty much the same game.
Well, yeah, but it was released on a PC system that I'm unaware of in Japan, and then it also got a watered-down SNES port, which was called Castlevania 5.
Okay, yeah. Was it the PC Engine? Was it the TurboGrafx, basically,
I don't
version?
think it was TurboGrafx, but I think PC Engine, yeah.
Which is that was the, what do you call it? The TurboGrafx in Japan.
It was the TurboGrafx in Japan?
Yeah, they just call it the PC Engine.
I gotcha, yeah.
Which was...
But yeah, that's what it was released for.
Okay. Ooh, yes. Oh, wait a second.
Which is why you get, like, all of the nice anime cutscenes and everything like that.
That's... Okay, there we go. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting, too, but...
I was gonna say, that move is gonna be, like, your best friend for taking out harder enemies, at least until you get the slide.
Oh, yeah. What's her face? Lily Dandelion? Yeah. Dandelion, that was close.
Dude, I still can't believe you forgot about Mowgli.
I remember what that boss looks like. I don't remember being called Mowgli.
Mowgli, man. I hope you were like lying to me, and Roger's like, you guys are fucking
What the hell are you talking about? Well, I don't know why I would make up Mowgli.
I don't know. I tried to convince you that I owned a Nintendo 64 like 6 months before it came out. So
I remember.
Kids say stupid shit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, maybe that's not the way. Let's see.
Yeah, no, just pull the statues up. No. Go down and then psychically pull one of the statues up towards you.
Whoops. Whoop.
Yeah, there
we go. All right.
That's kind of like the main puzzle-solving mechanic of the game. I'm glad to see you kill every enemy, which is nice.
The what?
I said I am glad to see you killing every enemy for the power-ups, which is nice.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. No, get away.
There are always like one or two that I missed, though. Like one or two rooms where I just like couldn't figure. I think particularly like in the pyramid, where it's like not always clear where the enemies are.
Yeah.
And the Great Wall, I'm always sure that I miss at least one there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh yeah, and this is like the easiest one, man.
I love these Enix games. The basically these Soul Blazer type games.
Yeah. Oh, they got real creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this game is just awesome, and I love it. And, you know, it's aged surprisingly well. For what's basically like a Zelda clone, it looks and sounds fantastic.
Yeah. You know, it does look good. It did age pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay is solid, yeah.
The gameplay is just fine. It's pretty simple, but it's like, you know, I wouldn't say is that complicated as a Zelda game, because you don't really get a whole bunch of items in this game. It's more like power.
But you get more power-ups as the game goes on. It gets a little deeper from a combat. It's definitely more combat-oriented than Zelda.
Defense, yes.
Tight.
Ooh, I just love that jump.
I know.
Will's a badass. This is still one of the cosplays I'd want to do as Will, and 0 people would get it, but I don't care.
I'd get it. And
although I did at ACEN this year, I think I showed you the picture that they had the Wild Arms from Jack and what's his face,
Rudy and Cecilia.
Yeah, and it was just like, holy shit! Like, really, a Wild Arms cosplay? You got 2 of your friends to do that with you? Like, that's
Dude,
I'm jealous.
Man, if we ever, like, I don't know, if we ever up the production quality of this channel, we should do like full-on reviews of some of these PS1 and SNES era games that meant so much to us. I would love to just do like a...
Oh my god, yeah.
Like just a back and forth retrospective of like certain games like Wild Arms or, you know, like Final Fantasy VI or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun. That
would be, yeah. I mean, I think we kind of just shoot the shit and sort of review these games anyway while we're playing them, but I know what you mean.
Do.
That's...
But I mean, the editing process of that is, you know, probably more that I'm capable of or would be able to dedicate the time to right now. So, also, I mean, I'm more than happy to keep doing these playthroughs. I mean, this is more fun anyways to actually play the games.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would still really like to do it that way, where we actually do a full-on review or retrospective of a game or a series.
Wait a second.
Yeah, so she'll talk to you here in a second, and she'll tell you to like go to the other one and hit it.
Yep. I gotta get used to these controls.
Yeah, I know. Because you have to equip songs to play them, which was always annoying.
No, I don't want to discard.
Whatever you do not discard.
Condition, items.
So yeah, equip the song and go ahead and play it. This game had a great soundtrack too.
It did. Oh, did you beat Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, I beat Spider-Man.
Sweet. How was it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Start to finish, that game is amazing. In fact, I'm still popping it in between Dragon Quest sessions just to like swing around the city.
Just to swing around. That's what I've heard. Just getting around to that game was a pleasure.
Fun, actually.
Yeah. And what about like the fighting system overall? Did it
Dude, when
get much
finally
better?
When it finally gels and you really get used to it, you can string some like crazy elaborate combos and gadgets and stuff like that together. Like I can do matches against like crowds of like 20 different guards, most of whom have like guns and rocket launchers and shields, and they throw in some heavies there at the same time. And like I can juggle them all and just Spider-Man my way through the fight without barely even getting hit. It's just awesome. Like I actually like the combat system in that game more than Arkham, because I feel like it provides a level of challenge that Arkham really didn't. Like at a certain point, like if you just spam Batman's gadgets, you can pretty much be guaranteed you'll come out of any encounter in the Arkham series. With Spider-Man, you're constantly thinking on your feet. It is so much more like agility based. Like you constantly have to be on the offensive, whereas Batman's main mechanic was definitely the counters. And I mean, both are really good.
Seems like there's a lot of aerial combat that was important in the Spider-Man game.
Yeah. And once I figured that out, that's really where it started to gel for me, is that your goal as Spider-Man is to get enemies off the ground and keep them in the air where you can basically like, whip them around to their friends, and it's awesome.
Yeah, just seeing you get used to it when I was over there. Yes.
Yeah, right.
All right.
And like the first time you aim battle, like it's so satisfying because these are the same enemies that were kicking your ass earlier, and not all that much has changed. Like you may have some new gadgets or stuff, but as far as like countering and juggling and everything else, that's all you. Like that's just you getting good at it. Here's Frieden, baby. So Frieden is one of the Dark Knights that Will's actually descended from. You'll come to understand my nature. I guess so.
It's really cool. Even though it's a simple story, I like it a lot. It's a really cool one.
Yeah, me too.
These kind of just old, fulfill your destiny, kind of save the world in the process stories I love.
Speaking of which, you gotta get Dragon Quest. I mean, the story doesn't take many risks, but it is an excellent game. And it really is. It's exactly the kind of game that we've just been talking about for the last 30 minutes, just praising. Nice.
I forgot, if you hold it.
You can just spam his sword, yeah. That's hilarious.
All right.
I love Frieden.
Yeah, that's I'd really love to get Spider-Man.
Got a couple of like really lengthy projects that you still got to do,
for sure,
including Persona 5.
Yep.
But seriously, like Dragon Quest, they're always like these gigantic, like 80-hour RPGs. But by the time they're done, you'll like wish they were longer. It's kind of the same as Persona 5.
How are you getting along with Dragon Quest?
I'm just loving it.
Speaking of which, excellent. I wanted to ask: did you platinum Spider-Man? Are you working on that? Or
but
not yet?
I think I will. Yeah, I think my plan is to eventually platinum it.
You.
I'm kind of worried about like the harder mode, seeing how that goes, just because combat is so challenging.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, I've gotten really good at it. So
I remember there was the gadgets too, along with everything else. So you get quite a few more gadgets. How does that play?
You do, but they don't ever feel like overwhelming. Like there's only one or two that I really don't use, and they're kind of the optional ones at the end. Like there's this one that you can throw down, and it basically like makes everyone on the screen like float in place for Spider-Man just to wail on, which is kind of hilarious.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, the gadgets are very useful. I tend to use gadgets more for like the stealth sections than I do in the action. Like for the action sequences where you're like forced into a brawl, I pretty much just use his webbing.
Okay.
Like either the rapid shot or the big one that just clocks them immediately against a wall.
Ooh.
There's a red jewel. Tight. There's pretty much a red jewel in every dungeon, I believe. But yeah, so far I think we've got all that we can get. Let me double check here with the sewer man. No, Max, you suck. Suck, Max. No, I didn't mean that, baby.
No way.
No.
Nightmare.
Oh shit.
No way. I hope the enemies are. Wait,
you saved though at that one.
I did.
Right?
If you save.
Okay, whatever you do, don't save here.
Okay.
You know what? Next time, play the hits. We're gonna go ahead and get back to that spot where you died, and that'll be where we start.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna figure out if it's better to reset or if the enemies come back or not. I feel like they do. They definitely do. Yeah. So maybe resetting's the best option.
I think so, because you definitely saved when you got freed.
I did. Next time on Play the Hits, Max might not suck, and we can get through this game.
That's right. YouTube, you stay classy. We will see you next time.
All right, till next time.